This week on MotoMan, I check out the latest from Chrysler and Dodge and see what surprises old Walter P. has up his sleeve. Last year, Chrysler and Dodge promised us a slew of new products and a complete overhaul in quality. Well, guess what just turned up? A package from Auburn Hills. So let's go for a ride and see if they delivered. As cool as the new Charger is, really the news is in the interior. Dare I say the plastics are BMW-like, an 8-inch screen in the navigation, and it's just a nice place to be. Hey, Ralph. Ralph, what are you doing here?
I was in your neighborhood, and I thought I'd bring the world debut of the SRT8 Dodge Challenger in green with envy.
You are the man.
Come on, let's go for a test drive.
Look at this.
Hey, MotoMan, how you doing?
Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back to California.
Yeah, I love it here. It's beautiful.
80 degrees just for you. This is a great surprise.
Yes, a new SRT8 for 2011, world premiere of the green with envy color, which is something our owners have been asking for. So it's really cool.
And you being the giver that you are, you give the owners
we
what they ask for.
This will be known as the torque monster. This engine was really designed to have a lot more bottom end punch and just more drivable, a lot more fun to drive. And I don't know if your cameras can pick it up, but we have a little more negative camber front to back, especially the front wheels got a degree and a half, which really makes the car more nimble, more tossable. You can see it, yeah.
Here. Yeah, I definitely can.
A lot of our race cars do that, and it really plants that front end down.
All right, I think we should go for a ride.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Why don't you try my roads here?
All right.
I think they're just a little bit better than your Michigan
You don't have to
roads.
twist my arm.
Green with envy, baby.
Yep.
Green with envy.
We're so excited. This is a color our owners have been asking about ever since they saw the Viper. Very similar color to this, Viper Venom Green, and it's trying to be like the Super Sublime, the original Super Sublime from the late 60s, with a modern touch. It has a lot more flake in it, has a bit of a coppery color flake, and it just blows up under the sunshine. It's awesome.
So how did it come about? Did you just say, hey, I want to do this color?
Well, we made a commitment when we started the Challenger program that we would try to introduce kind of nostalgic but fun colors. That was what the Challenger was all about back in the day, you know, Plum Crazy and Panther Pink and all these cool colors that kind of celebrated the car's existence, and those actually are the more valuable versions of the car today. So we've done that. Periodically we'll introduce a new color, and for 2011 this is our new all new color. Owners dig it, you know, and it's the stuff they'll be talking about 20 years from now at a car show.
Yeah, but that's cool about what you guys do. You have fun with stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just listen to the car. It's just intoxicating.
There's actually guys at work, there's young guys, and the old guys and young guys kind of talk and debate what the car should be, and obviously legally we can't make the car infinitely louder, but we found out that induction sound, everyone seems to talk about it. You know, that deep sound. And the thing about induction noise, it's only there when you want it. When you put the throttle down, it's there. When you're cruising, it's gone, so you don't get the drone. So we added a lot more induction sound, and it actually gave us a little horsepower to boot.
Yeah, what do you have, 475 now?
Yeah, 470 actually, which is a little...
470?
You're
shortchanging me, right? I mean, come on, you said 475.
And there's a story to that. We actually, everyone said, let's go for 500 and 500, and then our engineering department, our engine guys looked at us and said, you know what, we can get there, but we'll probably lose a bit of torque. And because the Challenger, let's face it, is a little on the heavy side, we thought we would, and torque makes weight go away. It's one of the things that really accelerates the car more so than horsepower.
Absolutely.
And throttle tipping, one of the beautiful things of American V8s is that throttle tipping. You just tickle the throttle and you're going, unlike the four bangers where you have to wind them up. So for 2011, we gave up a little top-end horsepower and focused on torque. So we've added over 90 pounds of torque to the bottom end of the car. So right around 2,900.
90 pounds.
It's incredible. 2,900
awesome.
RPM. We just really filled in the bottom end. So this car, you barely have to touch the pedal. I'm touching it right now, maybe 15%, and it's already accelerating. It's really got a nice, deep well of torque.
Nice. Feel that. Now I'm going to give you a heads up before we go crazy. We're in Moto Canyon now, so
yeah, we gotta
welcome
watch
to
it.
my neighborhood.
This is where you roll.
This is where I roll.
What I feel right away, which I love, is in 2011 we totally went to a different steering rack system. So went from 16 to 1 to 14 to 1. So we reduced the ratio. The steering turns to lock, they call it. We direct mount the steering rack to the K-member, so it's much more linear, a lot like European cars are. And then we added negative camber, static negative camber all the way around. So a degree and a half in the front and a degree in the back. What that does is really minimizes understeer. So the car is just locked in on that front outer wheel when you're turning. And,
were these things you wanted to do when you first introduced the car back in 09, or was this something like, I'm going to change this?
Well, I would say the focus wasn't as clear. We didn't really have a kind of a suspension whisperer. This guy called Jack Cooper that works for us.
Suspension whisperer.
Because it was developed from the 300.
Not just color names, but you name even your employees.
Listen to that sound. I just love that thing.
That's awesome.
So anyway, so he said, if you want the car to feel lighter, all I could say as a driver and a racer said, I want the car to just dance. The current one, nothing wrong with it, but it's a little too close to 1970 for my taste.
Okay.
Floats a little bit, it's very comfortable, and I said, how can we make it more nimble? And that's what we focused on for 2011, is just make the car tossable. The events happen and then they're done. So the dampening really works. We added a lot more rebound control and went to Bilstein monotubes, so we have the best shock we can get on this vehicle. And the combination is like anything. When you take all those things and combine the system as one, it becomes a magical, just a magical thing. I mean, this new Challenger will be stuff of legend, I hope.
So basically more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it.
You got a nice straight here. Come on, Ralph, let's see what you're made of. Come on. I know you got more than that. There you go. That was the Park Ranger, don't worry about that.
Okay.
That was a close call.
It's egging me on here,
Really, he made me do it. It's his fault. The guy in the green shirt. No, it's the guy in the green car.
I love this sound.
It's awesome.
That's another thing. We do a lot of bench racing back at Chrysler. We sit down and we debate the car just like any other car enthusiast would. And say, let's do this, let's do this. They found out if we opened up the hole on the airbox, we would get more horsepower. Try to get cold air to reduce what we call spark trim, so when the car gets hot, we pull a little spark. So that's
an old tuner trick. I remember when I had an RX-7 in college, first thing I did was throw out the air filter, got more cold air, and then by putting a K&N filter into it. I bolted on something like 5 or 10 horsepower.
And most of that was sound. It was psychological power. But this is real power.
So you're enjoying my backyard here.
I love this road.
Oh, these.
See, we don't have this in Michigan.
No, you don't. You've got flat roads, but no really twisties. There's no elevation changes. Nothing.
It's funny because that's probably the reason the cars handle the way they do. Because we don't have these kind of roads, so we had to go out and find them. And we have this road called Tail of the Dragon in Tennessee. It's similar to.
Wonderful.
You know the road?
Yeah, I know the road.
It is awesome.
Oh, I know the road.
We've
Good food down there too.
Yeah, so we've been going down there. It's motorcycle country as well. It's Mulholland Drive. So we've been going down there to kind of see what the car can do. What ended up happening is the 2011 Charger inspired us. We went back and actually the Challenger wasn't going to get such a significant suspension upgrade, but the changes were so dramatic on the 2011 Charger that we decided to go back through and discovered all these opportunities. And this is a shorter wheelbase, so it's even more responsive than the longer wheelbase Charger. So went back in, and this kind of benefited from the changes on the 2011, which is an all-new program. So even though the car looks similar on the outside, all the entrails are new. So all the suspension points, the camber gain curves, everything's been redone for 2011.
So let's clarify. The Charger program was done first.
Yeah, the 2011.
So that car was done before you started working on this.
Yeah, it was kind of, we know we were going to do something, but we ended up doing much more. And the other thing we did is took care of, because the SRT8 should be this, but the V6 car is actually part of the market that's really coming up. I mean, we sell a little bit more V6s now than we do V8s, which was the other way around when we launched the car. So for 2011, we've added a much more powerful V6. We went from the 250 horse to 305 horse Pentastar. It's a state-of-the-art, it's a much lighter engine. It's very, very powerful, very smooth. And then we thought about the customer who buys that he doesn't want the world to know he has the lesser car.
Yeah.
So we made dual exhaust standard on the car. We have 20-inch wheels available. We even have stripe packages now available, so somebody can choose the V6.
On the V6.
Yeah. And the one thing that was important to my team is that it still does a burnout. I remember asking, "Can you do a burnout in the V6?" And they were so proud. They're like, "Yes, you can."
Okay, you know what? You're gonna have to bring one, and you're gonna have to show me that you can do it.
It can be done.
Look at you here, going through here with like a pro, not just a designer and a car executive, a driver. This is where I do most of my testing. I do a lot of filming of the show up here, and you can see for obvious reasons the roads are fantastic. The backgrounds are lush and beautiful. Now, granted, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint, Vice. You're seeing them very green right now,
yeah.
Which I'm about to turn if you continue to do this.
I'm sorry. Good. So MotoMan wore out before the Challenger did.
Test done. There you go.
The thing I noticed the most is the steering. How easy it is, because the old car I'd have to put more input in, and the steering rack ratio has been quickened to the point where it makes it easy to track. So
you know something I want to point out. You did when you left the show last time. You promised me you would work on interiors.
Yep.
Now I've had the pleasure of seeing the new Charger, which, by the way, awesome interior.
Thank you.
And I'm looking at this. I see a totally new steering wheel. We talked about the steering wheel in the last one we sat in, that yellow one that I love so much. What else did you do in here?
Well, steering was a big deal, actually. The rim section is something a lot of drivers are very sensitive to. So we added a much beefier, nice soft leather, but also a beefier section. And it makes it a little easier to grip the wheel. We added audio controls, have a new gauge cluster.
What's a new gauge?
A little different gauge, more modern font. Goes up to 183.
180. I'm going to test that.
Yeah, we've gotten this. The manual shift car will go about 180, a little bit above, and the automatic just a little bit less. We have a new kind of brushed aluminum finish here on the stair stack.
Very cool.
And then we have a new seat.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's not as cool as the Charger on the inside. I mean, you really went over the top on that one.
Yeah.
I can see the differences, especially with the steering wheel, because that's the first thing you see.
Yeah, and that was probably the biggest area of opportunity, so we took advantage of it. One big project here was to improve fuel economy. So we went from 19 to 22 on the manual and 23 mpg on the automatic.
Wait, let's step back here. So wait, we're up 90 foot-pounds of torque.
Yep.
We're up to 470 horsepower from 425, yet you increased the fuel economy.
Yes.
Can I rub your head? You're like a genie.
Well,
how do you do these things?
It's the technology. I mean, having the active manifold helps a lot. So you can tweak the engine so it's more, even though it's bigger displacement, we can now move the torque around. And torque really, if you can avoid spinning the engine, gets better fuel economy, because it means the engine is more efficient.
That's interesting. That's like a trick Porsche did with the Panamera.
Exactly.
They put a lot of torque. The car is 4,000 pounds, but when you drive it, you'd swear the car is 3,000 pounds, yet it doesn't get a gas guzzler tax.
On top of that, lessons learned from our Viper program, we added a cam phaser. So now, even though it's a single cam, push-rod engine, we can actually phase the cam and again move the torque curve where we need it. And to boot, on the automatic cars, we added for the first time fuel saver mode. Basically means the engine will run in 4-cylinder mode.
So it's like the RT.
Yes, exactly.
So in the SRT8, it shuts it off.
Yeah,
shuts off
first time, yeah. And the challenge with that is the exhaust tuning, making sure, because the exhaust is much more open on the SRTs.
Yeah.
And once in 4-cylinder mode, it does have a slight difference, but you'd really have to listen to it to find out.
So, I mean, you know, I'm a guy that likes to shift my own gears.
Yeah.
Why not in the manual?
It was too much of a task. And the manual is typically, in the real world driving, more efficient anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so we didn't want to do that on this car, because it would be switching in and out constantly.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The benefit would be minimal. So the automatic, it's easier for us to govern it. You know, what I like about Challenger, not to be a salesperson here, but it's a great cross-country touring car as well. It's got a big trunk, comfortable seats, and it's not, they always pitch us against the Mustangs and the Camaro, but we're not really...
It's a different kind of car.
Yeah.
I think I've told you this before. I think it's unfair because this car is about the presence. This car is about the feel. This is more of a Gran Turismo car.
Exactly.
I love the way, as a matter of fact, I did do a long distance drive.
Oh, did you?
I think I told you.
Cool.
I circumnavigated Lake Michigan in an RT manual.
Awesome.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah. And that car gets, well over 25 miles per gallon if you're nice to it. which is
That was nice too. Actually, you know what? Let me know. I take that back. Actually, I did a combined average of 27 mpg on that trip,
which is amazing.
And I've got the numbers to prove it. I've got the gas receipts. I can show them to you.
Yeah,
Can I put them in for reimbursement?
And that's one of the best kept secrets of our times is that you can have a car that looks this, ostentatious, but yet is relatively reasonable to own every
Kind of like
day.
getting the best of both worlds. I mean, I know you guys are working on some other more alternative fuel kind of stuff, but we still need this stuff.
I've decided something today.
Tell me.
I hate you Californians. I mean, look at this. It's what is it? Are we in January?
January, 80 degrees.
It's 80 degrees.
Yeah.
It's sunny.
Yeah.
The roads are clear and beautiful. We have bicyclists here. We're in a modern day muscle car having a blast. We have engineers running around Michigan in the snow because we're in our last stages of testing before we release this to the public. And we have no choice but to drive them every day, and we're 5 inches of snow. So just enjoy.
Oh yeah,
Do you mind for me?
I do. I mean, I moved from New York for this, man.
I'm about to pop a tear. This is like surreal beauty here.
See, and now we get the sensitive side of Ralph.
Listen, you're an enthusiast. You understand it. How do you think this color is going to do?
Me personally, I think it's going to do very well. I'm looking at it, I got to be honest, the idea of I know people have been talking about a Sublime Challenger, and I was thinking of flat green. I don't know how well that's going to go over in today's day and age. But when I see the metallic, especially with the black stripes, it works.
Yeah, and that was the whole idea of doing the metallic, is to make it a contemporary version. We can't just keep aping, literally the past.
Well, it's a big thing. We talked about that, where people brought out the Ford Thunderbird, and it was a great car, and everybody who wanted one bought one, and that was it. With the Challenger, you guys are still selling these cars because people buy it because it's updated. It's a new representation of what was.
So it really doesn't give up anything. I mean, there's a lot of intellectual alibis to own this car and use it. And if I was in California, this would be my daily driver.
Intellectual alibi?
That's a big word, isn't it?
Who taught you to say intellectual alibi?
I admit, I went to business school, and they have all these marketing terms for a reason people buy things. It's like when people debate buying a car, they list the pros and cons. Some people don't have that. They just say, I want this car, and other people have to go through the process of listing all the why buys, and does it make sense?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So part of what we do in the design business is we're like the elixirs. We make vehicles that...
Okay, elixirs, that's a better term.
You understand?
Next time you say intellectual alibi, I'm
sorry.
taking your PowerPoint away.
Sorry, it's a rub-off from the Cerberus times here.
So another question I got to ask. You designed the 300. That was your brainchild, basically. And then you had to redesign it.
I wouldn't say...
How did that go for you?
Well, I worked on it. I wouldn't say this, brainchild. I mean, I hate taking that kind of credit because a lot of great minds were on that project. The 2011, obviously, is very daunting, like anything. I hate to use the word icon because we use it too much, but somehow this has gotten under the skin of the American public. They like this car. Even if they don't like it, they know. You can ask anyone in America what a Chrysler 300 is, and they go, I know what that is.
It's Kleenex.
They actually know it more than our own brand. I mean, it's actually somehow, somewhere along the way, became bigger. So redesigning it was a big conundrum. Do we about face left, completely throw out the old design? Do we evolve it? Do we this and that? And I think we decided to evolve it and make it have just a little more appeal. The car had some fundamental flaws that also made it cool. Like you couldn't see out of the car. It was a cool factor.
But put up with that. It's kind of those. It's a form function.
But it's that love affair thing, intellectual. I'm just kidding. Joke.
PowerPoint goes out the window. I'm telling you.
But the point is, people, the average person would a lot of regular people buy these cars, and they're like, I can't see out of the car. I feel claustrophobic. So that was actually the number 2 reason for rejection, was visibility.
Really?
So in so doing, we said, okay, we owe it to the public to fix that. So we did it without losing the car's magical proportions. And then it was modernizing the car. Just aero. The aerodynamics are significantly better. We went from a 0.33, 0.34 down to a 0.29 and 0.30, depending on the wheel and tire. For a car that doesn't necessarily have the cab forward look. A lot of that was underbody. A lot of that was the construction. We have a beautifully smooth roof. We have a laser welded roof panels now, so we get perfect. It looks like a custom built car. And then the interior. The car, when it first came out, it was conquesting people out of 7 Series BMWs.
Yeah.
But then they'd get in after a while, go, wait a minute, everything is kind of made of hard stuff here.
Yeah.
So we went in and completely rethought. We put a great team of designers on it. I oversaw that quite a bit. We designed the grain on the same way BMW does, same way Mercedes does, using the same suppliers.
Grain?
Yeah, the grain. We actually sat there.
Down to the grain.
Yes. The grain, when you magnify grain, it's the stuff on the doors, it looks like the Grand Canyon. It really has layers and layers, and you can go in there and actually design it. The old days, we would take acid and pour it in a mold and get what we got. And it just never looked believable. Actually, we can now design it just like your skin has a little reflection and glistens, so can a dash pad skin.
It's a new definition of the term, granularity.
Yes, but you have to, you know. And I think the objective with the new 300 is have it be just irreproachably good. Whether it's quality, sound insulation, driving dynamics, has a lot of the same thinking that went into this car.
Yeah.
So it really has, you know, the Fred Astaire kind of dancing when you drive it. It really is fun to drive. One thing we did learn over the 6 years of selling the old car, everybody sees what they want to see in that car. It kind of absorbs the personality of its owner. So we're going to offer more versions than you've ever seen. We're going to have 4 or 5 different grille options, a myriad of internal color options, and some of that comes because we're going to sell the car as a Lancia in Europe, which brings with it its own taste. So we're going to use some of those same leathers and colors stateside to create as many permutations as we can.
Is that going to be the new Thema?
Thema, yeah, Lancia Thema, yeah. Hey, you know that.
I know this stuff.
Look at you.
You're top of these things.
You're a real car guy. I mean, you know, you're not just a figurehead or something. You're actually.
When they first introduced that Thema, they came out with the Ferrari engine version.
Yes.
The 8.32. It's a Ferrari V8 with 32 valves, and this is like 80. As a matter of fact, this was 86. It was 3 cars built on the same platform. They co-developed, but Lancia's was the coolest because it had that Ferrari engine. But only one version.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at Chrysler. I mean, it feels really different. I mean, I've been there a long time, 18 years. It just feels different. I mean, there's a can-do spirit. I mean, we used to have this almost over. I mean, it's one thing to be humble, but it's bad when you start believing the critics and you start letting it screw you down and ratchet you down to the point where you almost talk yourself out of doing things. Like we talked about putting laminated glass standard on there, and well, you know, we can't afford it. Who says? So now we're doing things that we hope we'll get credit for instead of being afraid to do it in the first place. You know, and then over time, I think we have no choice but to start getting our brands to stand for something. And you can't be all about extreme value. You know, you got to be about innovation and luxury and performance.
Ask yourself why not. I know there's a term New Yorkers like to say: you can make a pizza so cheap, nobody wants to eat it.
That's perfect. I love it.
Yeah. Now, if you use that material, I'm gonna have to choke. So what's different now? I know Lee Iacocca changed Chrysler. Now you got another Italian coming in changing
Sergio
Chrysler.
Sergio's, first of all, the company's much flatter. You know, there's less of the hierarchy that you see in a lot of corporations. It doesn't feel like a corporation anymore. We're trying to get experts in positions versus just stripes. That's a big problem with old companies is they tend to reward being there forever. Doesn't mean you're the best at your job.
Yeah.
So Sergio has no problem pulling an expert from who could be 25 years old and have him run the entire dynamics department. You know.
So you're running the company. You look like you're 25.
Thank you. You can't have the car.
Oh, come on. I thought that line would definitely get me the car.
It's not going to do it. You know, flattery will get you everywhere, but not a
I'm going to come up with a good line. Or I'm going to blackmail you on this intellectual alibi thing. I'm going to tell Bob Lutz you used a term like that. I guarantee you he'll come and get me the car. Nice. Nice. So that's what's different about Chrysler now.
Yep.
That's what's going to keep you guys going. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
You will.
Anything's like this, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Okay, MotoMan, I've been driving a long time, talking a long time. Do you want to give this a shot?
Absolutely. That's the whole reason why I thought you brought the car.
It's not for keeps, though. It's just a taste.
Oh, come on.
A little speed dating. Can you do a little speed dating?
I think so.
All right. Let's do it. So hopefully you still have the memory of the yellow car fresh in your mind. So you have
I do. Oh, man, I love the yellow car. Love the yellow car. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you know what? It would be hell if Friday. You told me to take the brake off.
It's okay.
You told me.
We know it works.
I'm just so excited. Love the new steering wheel. It's like I even brought some horses out for it.
Wow. That's cool. I know I smelled them. Now I can see them.
You kept the shifter. Loving the shifter.
Pistol? Yeah, it's modern.
Gotta have that shifter. I'm telling you, this is the only way to get the cars in the back. Okay, so for this turn, you gotta brake really early, and then kind of just nurse the brake halfway through, then you're out. Nice! It's really flat going through that.
Yeah, the body rolls
Way different than the yellow car. Way different.
very linear steering now.
Whoa, hey now. Brakes work.
Yeah, we also added little pulse feature that actually pulses the brakes to make sure that they're as close to the rotor as possible. So next time you need them, they're there.
You know what it is? You can push the car a little bit more through the turns, and the rear end will stay planted.
Yeah, they work better as a system now. You know, some of what Jack Cooper would be talking about is the front and rears working together.
You can definitely tell someone's been fooling with it. No doubt about it.
Doesn't it feel lighter?
It feels lighter, much more balanced. It's more neutral when it's going around the turns.
Definitely drive with the sunroof and windows down, you know. I love that.
Speaking of that, when are you guys going to give us a convertible on this?
You know, that's probably the most. I don't get too much hate mail, but I get request mail. And,
oh, so you got my letter, man. Yeah.
A lot of owners have asked us about that. And of course, I went to Detroit Auto Show and I saw Chevy has a really nicely done. I give them a lot of credit. They did a nice job with the SS convertible. So the game is on, I guess.
You got to do it, Ralph. Come on.
So we volleyed first with the Challenger. Now they're volleying with the convertible.
In this case, put aside intellectual alibis and let's get right to a convertible.
Well, let me know. I mean, let me see what your audiences say. So we're kind of measuring it. You know, it's a pretty big investment because we like to do it right.
Yeah.
You know, anyone can chop the top off anything, but to actually make it not lose
That's true. It's got to be
anything.
right.
I want it to still drive the same way, perform the same way.
Okay, so you guys heard the man. He said he wants to know. I know his email address. Send us your requests for a Challenger convertible along with a deposit made out to MotoMan. And I will be sure that Ralph gets it. It's almost like you guys don't really control this car anymore.
You know, it is in a way bigger than us. The fan base has grown to such a point that they're watching us now, everything that we do with this car.
You know what? At one point, that's amazing and awe-inspiring, but another, it's a little nerve-wracking.
It is. It really is, because you realize that you're kind of the grail keeper in a way. You know, you know, I'll be long gone, but hopefully the Challenger and Dodge is still here.
Not only is Ralph a great car guy, he's a man of his word. Last year, he promised us improved driving dynamics and much better quality. He delivered both in spades. In addition to that, he brought along a bit of a surprise. Now, about that improvement in quality. Not only is it good for a Chrysler product, it's good, period. So much so, it makes others green with envy. Point out, Ralph takes off like a maniac, not have the belt on yet.
Sorry.
I have to call the government about this. You noticed the equestrian, she gives us the stink eye.
Oh, yeah.
You crazy car drivers, you guys are so nuts the way you drive. As if there was any doubt that this is an American car. I found a new feature for shade tree mechanics. Cup holders. I wore green today.